Have you ever wondered how we can think smarter, solve problems better, and make decisions with greater clarity? In today's summary, we're diving into Smart Thinking by Matthew Allen, a book that reveals how we can harness the power of reasoning and critical thinking to enhance our everyday lives. Whether you're trying to make better choices, understand complex issues, or improve your problem-solving skills, this summary will walk you through the key insights to sharpen your mind and approach challenges more effectively. Stay with me as we explore the tools and techniques that can transform your thinking and set you on a path to smarter decisions. Linking, the key process in reasoning. A statement is a sentence that expresses an idea or an emotion. These statements are considered claims when they can be tested to determine if they are true or false. For example, "The Earth revolves around the sun" is a claim because it can be verified or disproved. On the other hand, a question like, "Does the Earth revolve around the sun?" is not a claim because it doesn't take a position that can be proven right or wrong. Essentially, claims are statements that assert something as the truth. Claims play a crucial role in arguments, as they can be used to support a conclusion. When a claim backs up another claim or a conclusion, it's called a claim premise. To reach a conclusion, multiple claims are often linked together in a logical sequence. The key to understanding any reasoning process is to break it down into smaller, linked claims. Let's consider an example. A person tells their friend to drive carefully because the road is wet. This reasoning can be divided into two claims. First, the advice to drive carefully, and second, the fact that the road is wet. The first sentence serves as the conclusion, while the second is a supporting claim. By breaking it down, the logic behind this statement becomes clearer. Building on this idea, the friend should drive carefully because the road is wet. Why is the road wet? Well, it rained last night. Wet roads are often slippery, and driving on slippery roads is dangerous, leading to the risk of accidents. When we link these ideas together, the argument becomes clearer and stronger. This method of breaking reasoning into smaller parts helps us understand the thought process, especially in more complex situations where connections might not be immediately obvious. More effective reasoning, better claims, and better links. To reach a solid conclusion, the first step is to have strong claims. Good claims are built on solid foundations and are carefully constructed. A well-formed claim follows specific rules, and its purpose is to ensure the message is clear. To build a strong analytical structure, claims must be written clearly, and if certain words or phrases need to be repeated for clarity, they should be. It's essential that nothing is left unsaid or unclear. When making claims for an audience, it's important to consider the context. Well-constructed claims must take into account the environment and the people to whom they're being presented. Understanding your audience and their expectations is key, as certain words and phrases can mean different things to different people. This means we need to have a basic understanding of how our audience might interpret these words. By doing this, we gain better control over our communication, allowing us to present our reasoning more effectively.
Strong claims are built on a solid foundation, which generally falls into three categories: claims that are self-evident, those that reference authority, or those based on logical reasoning. Self-evident claims are those that are clearly observable and don't need further proof. They form the basis of more complex reasoning. For instance, the statement, "Water boils at 100 degrees Celsius" is a self-evident claim because it can be easily observed and verified. Claims that reference authority can also be useful in reasoning. These claims rely on the work or expertise of another person or institution. Typically, they reference an expert or authority in the relevant field. If you are an expert yourself, you can even use your own authority to make a claim. Additionally, claims can be supported by previous reasoning. In building a logical argument, you may include claims that aren't self-evident or based on authority, but that are grounded in solid reasoning. By doing this, you create a stronger analytical structure where every claim is connected logically, making the overall argument more persuasive. Let's consider an example to illustrate how different types of claims work together. Imagine you want to argue that the climate is changing. You might refer to reports from NASA and other scientific organizations to support your argument. At the same time, you could point to observable facts like the melting of ice caps and rising global temperatures. If you are a climate scientist, you could also use your own expertise to strengthen your claim. And if you need to explain why the climate is changing, you might rely on studies that show the impact of human activities, like deforestation and the use of fossil fuels. By connecting these different claims, some based on authority, others self-evident, and others grounded in reasoning, you create a logical argument. The end result is a stronger, more persuasive case that your audience is more likely to accept.
What kinds of reasoning are there? In philosophy, reasoning is often categorized into two main types: deductive reasoning and inductive reasoning. Understanding these types allows us to build stronger arguments and to break down and analyze claims with greater clarity. Deductive reasoning involves drawing a conclusion based on the logical connection between two or more premises. These premises, when linked, lead to a conclusion that must be true if the premises themselves are true. For example, consider this scenario. Sarah is under 18 years old. In most countries, people under 18 cannot vote. Therefore, Sarah cannot vote. In this reasoning, we are connecting Sarah's age with the act of voting through the rule about voting age. The strength of deductive reasoning lies in its certainty. If the premises are true, the conclusion must also be true. Inductive reasoning, on the other hand, works differently. Rather than providing absolute certainty, inductive reasoning offers conclusions that are probable based on the evidence at hand. This form of reasoning allows us to infer broader patterns or possibilities from specific observations, but it doesn't guarantee a definitive answer. Instead, it points to what is likely or plausible. For example, a detective investigating a crime gathers various pieces of information. A witness claims they saw someone near the crime scene, the suspect had a known conflict with the victim, and the suspect's belongings were found nearby. From this evidence, the detective might conclude that the suspect is guilty. However, this conclusion is based on likelihood, not certainty. It's possible that more evidence could emerge, shifting the suspicion to someone else or providing an alternative explanation for the suspect's presence at the scene. Planning and creating your reasoning. The foundation of human civilization is built on asking questions and seeking answers. It's in our nature to be curious, and questioning is a critical part of reasoning. When analyzing information and constructing our own arguments, there are certain key questions we can ask ourselves. The first set of questions relates to the purpose and context of our reasoning. Why are we reasoning, and who is it for? What kind of audience do we have, and what are their expectations? Next, we should focus on the conclusion. What is the meaning, main idea, value, scope, and likelihood of this conclusion? Does any part of it need further explanation or reasoning? Finally, we turn to the reasoning itself. Once we've created an analytical structure, we should question the claims. Does any claim require a definition or framing premise to make it clear? Are the claims well constructed, and do they show a clear connection to the conclusion? Is the foundation of these claims strong? And if not, what can we add to strengthen it? Are the claims enough to support the scope of the conclusion? By asking the right questions, revising carefully, and planning thoroughly, we can create arguments that are convincing and earn the trust of the audience. The first step in planning is to organize all the information and reasoning points one by one. The introduction would start with the conclusion and list the main points in brief. The main body would provide background information, then move on to the core reasoning, detailing each point and expanding where necessary. Each reason should be backed by at least 2 or 3 paragraphs of explanation. In the conclusion, we bring everything together, reinforcing the initial argument and restating the conclusion. And there you have it, Smart Thinking by Matthew Allen. We've explored how reasoning, analysis, and thoughtful questioning can reshape the way we approach problems and decisions. Whether you're looking to enhance your personal life, career, or even daily problem solving, these strategies can help you think more critically and act more wisely. If you found these insights valuable, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more summaries that break down the world's best ideas. Thanks for listening, and until next time, keep thinking smart.